All right, so now the second part to showing you that was related to me personally, and this was a few years back. This was around the time where I had already been kind of questioning Byron and started already doing a lot of research before ultimately it got into 2024, where my $2.5 million was then misappropriated, and we still believe that is fraudulent behind the scenes. We'll get into that here in a little bit. I'll go over that one with the other closing attorney, Jacinda Walker, who had sent the wire over. So I'll go over that one later. But this is a fraudulent operating agreement. Let's see here. Let's open this sucker up. Now, the reason why I want to go over this is because this is identical to what they do to almost every other victim out there. And we've got a massive amount of identity fraud. And so one of the things across the board that I've seen, and I'm hoping by the time they see this, they'll probably start changing their ways. But what I've noticed on countless victims and operating agreements is they will actually take the original owner and move them down to about 10% owner, and then they will add somebody else. For example, in most cases, Marvin Fox, he's like right-hand man to Byron. And we've got evidence of them being together working on fraud, laughing about all of this. So again, that's going to be in more videos. You're going to see that name, Marvin Fox, come up quite a bit. There are other straw buyers that they've used, but Marvin Fox is definitely fully aware of the fraud and part of this. So let's get back into my operating agreement for a prime example. So that way later, when we show more evidence, you begin to kind of see the same exact process, the same MO. So here we go. This was August 16th again, from Byron going to Tiffany Mallory. This was just a few hours before they had sent the fraudulent bank accounts. So see attached, this is what was attached. The reason why I got this later is because at the time, Tiffany didn't, I don't think she either knew of me, or maybe she knew of me indirectly, but probably didn't put all this stuff together at the time. And so months and months and months later, give or take, sometime after, as a matter of fact, after my 2.5 mil on that Covenant Baptist Church situation with Will Plott and Jacinda Walker and Quincy Carlswell as the seller of the church, when my money was used then, which now we're claiming fraud, and that's what we're still further investigating. Anyway, that time is when I was then reaching out to Tiffany Roberts. So months and months later, when we had, probably get back to see my beautiful face. Months and months later, when I had been working with Tiffany and kind of going over more of the fraud and more of the different things that are going on and digging deep into Byron, that's when she had later sent me this email and stating, wait a minute, I had this information. So anyway, so this is, let's get rid of that bank statement. Don't need that one. So this is the operating agreement that Byron had sent Tiffany, Exco Management, and it's however many pages this is. So yeah, my name, let's see here. All right, members' interest. Let's get into the members here. Let's make this a little bit smaller. Blah, 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 blah. The only reason why I'm going through all of this, you guys can pause it, you can read it. It's nothing that you guys are going to care about, but in case you guys, victims, potential victims, ever see other operating agreements that match this, it's already going to be another red flag for you guys. But ultimately, what I really want to show you is the members, the signature, the percentage of who owns what, because it's exactly what they do across the board with so many others. Sometimes they actually will use the person's operating agreement if they get it. In this scenario, they never got my operating agreement. They never needed my operating agreement. So because of that, they created their own operating agreement. So now we have Marvin Fox, who was added to Execo Management as of March 8th, 2022. Here's Marvin Fox's information, his signature, his address. You'll see that address across the board and a lot of things. Notary acknowledgement. This is something that you guys really need to pay attention to as well. And you're going to see this across almost every single one of the pieces of fraud that we have. Frank Brake III, right? Print, signature. Okay, keep an eye on that signature. Here's the stamp. One thing that you'll never know or you'll never notice whenever you see all of these fraudulent documents is this notary stamp is never going to be across other items. Like this stamp wouldn't have been accidentally over this affixed seal. And we all know when notaries stamp things, sometimes it's not perfect. Sometimes it's at angles. Sometimes it's over things. I say that to say this. When you see other evidence of Frank Brake, the reason why it's never going to be over any other words or whatever is because this is a fraudulent PDF altered like sticker, picture, whatever that they just put on here. At this time, when this email was sent, then the commission expires June 19th, 2025. No one would have thought anything of it. They didn't think anything of it. Now, of course, looking back, I can tell you right now, this Frank Brake III was a legit notary, worked at Wells Fargo. However, in the future, on some future evidence that I'm going to share with you, they will change this date to 2026. And this notary had never renewed their commission. Also, as notaries know, notary commissions are 4-year terms. This expired in 2025. The new one would have been 2029, but they altered it to 2026 and some future ones. So this Frank Brake, you're going to see a lot of forged quick claim deeds, which is then how they took over properties illegally. So let's get back into the whole point of showing you this. First off, my last name is not L.A. blank. It's LeBlanc with an E. And it doesn't really matter. Marvin Fox, again, here's what I really want to share with you. 90%, 10%. Remember I told you when they try to take over companies, they will put the original owner, the actual owner, as 10%, and then 90% somebody else. In this situation was Marvin Fox. They've used straw buyers, etc. And that way they could then, if anybody pulls, Georgia Secretary of State pulls the actual company, in this case, Execo Management, they'll see Jesse LeBlanc as the owner. So they won't think anything of it. 10% owner. Okay, cool. Jesse's the one who created the LLC. Well, they added this person later. So this person now has the majority of the interest. And of course, they can sign for paperwork, business loans, etc. So this is exactly what they do here. Now, let me see where else I saw in here. Let's see. Marvin. I don't know why my little thingy's acting up right now. Okay, I'll find it here in just a second. Let me just pause this and then I'll find what I need here. Oh, no, they're all, those stupid ads are going to get in my way. Yeah, I guess I probably should have looked over this before I made these videos for you guys, but hey, such is life. This is live and this is what it is. All right, so that's the fraudulent one. Let's get back to my legit signed operating agreement. Whenever it wants to pop up. Oh, maybe is it here? All right, so here's the actual operating agreement, dated on 2014, October 15th, which is my birthday, actually. So on my birthday, I created this company. Happy birthday to me. So this was super short operating agreement. And when the PDF wants to open it up in the very bottom, you'll see my wife's signature. You'll see my signature. And this was only a handful of pages. 1, 2. Oh, there's my other signature right there. Original member, 10, 15, 14. Added my wife. No notary stamp. Just a few pages versus theirs. So keep an eye on that. Again, the biggest thing is make sure spelling is correct whenever you're looking, if you're a lender or if you're a lender, and then keep an eye on the 90%, 10%.